Okay, in this video, we're going to show how and why an OP, an offensive player, gets created in a softball lineup and the advantages to doing that. No, it's not a DP. It's not your designated player. It's your OP, your offensive player. They're two different things. The OP can only exist when you also have a DP in the lineup. So it might seem confusing now, but we're going to go into this and again talk about the advantages to doing something like this. So first of all, we're going to use this handy dandy softball DP Flex simulator. You can find it on the App Store. The link will be in the description here. And what this does is it makes sure that what we're doing is sound. So it follows all the correct substitution logic. So we can make sure, hey, if we're doing these changes, is this allowed? So we're confident when we tell the umpires. So obviously, as you can see here, you can create your own lineup. We're just going to use a mock lineup, just some fake names here. So here's our lineup. We got all these players. We have a flex and a DP. And what we're going to do, how we're looking at this right now, is we have our worst hitter in the 9 spot naturally. But Weiss here is a good third baseman. So she normally plays third base. She's our starting third baseman, but she's not a great hitter. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start the game with her at the DP position. Okay, we'll go over that in a second on why. So right now, this is when we're at the home plate meeting. We submit our lineup. The umpire says, hey, coaches, all lineups are now official. Would you like to make any changes? This is when now we can make the change. So we proceed and here's our whole lineup. We got our bench and everything as well. But again, remember, we want Weiss, who's in the DP spot, playing third base. So we're going to tell the umpire, hey, I'd like Weiss, I'd like the 9 spot, the DP spot, to go into the field. So you can do this. And who are they going in for? Well, our third baseman. So we had Samson listed as our third baseman to start the game because Samson now, when Weiss takes third base, Samson now becomes our OP, offensive player. So Samson is batting only currently. Weiss is playing DP and third base. Now, the reason Weiss has to stay as the 9 batter in the 9 spot as the DP, even though Weiss is playing the field, is because otherwise, if you could just change who your DP is during the game, you could just continuously bat your flex for that position, and your flex could hit every time. So you have to keep your DP at the same spot in the batting order as they started. So that's the 9 hole in this example because Weiss is our worst batter. And Samson is really normally our hitting only, normally our DP, but we started them at third because we swapped them basically. Weiss goes into third. Now Samson is hitting only. So now the cool thing about this, once you make this change, so there's Weiss playing third base at DP, is you can also switch your OP just like you can switch your catcher with your first baseman or your right fielder and your left fielder. Any change that you want to make during the game, you can actually do that as well with your OP. So like Samson here, we could put it catcher. So, hey, I want to switch Samson and Johnson. So now you see Johnson is playing OP. Originally was at catcher. Samson was originally at third base. None of that really matters, but now is playing catcher. So we'll go ahead and just switch them back, but that's just so you can see that. That's a cool thing that you can do. But we want Samson batting only. We want Samson at OP, and we want Weiss playing third base as our DP. So now the reason that we'd want to do this is, again, Weiss being our weakest hitter. Let's say our flex player, our pitcher, is a decent hitter as well, just not quite good enough to crack the starting lineup. Or perhaps we bring in a relief pitcher off the bench into the flex spot, and we can bat this flex. As you probably know, we can bat the flex for the DP. So let's say Weiss maybe had one at bat early in the game, didn't look great. Now it's the 4th inning. She's coming up to bat again. We say, hey, time blue, I want to put my flex in for the DP. So here we're just going to choose that option, flex in for the DP. Now it tells you here that gets rid of the OP because we are down to 9 now. So Weiss moves to the bench. She was our DP. Carver, who was our flex, is now hitting in the DP spot, in the 9 spot. And so now Riley Sampson, who started the game at third, just goes back to third. Again, you can switch them around however you want, but third base was vacant with Weiss now out of the game. So Sampson just moves into third base because we're down to 9 in the lineup. So when you're down to 9, you cannot have an OP since all positions are now filled, 1 through 9. So again, this would be on offense. So now let's say, okay, hey, we're back on the field. I want Weiss back in playing third base. She's my good third baseman. Carver just had an at-bat for her. That's what I wanted. So, hey, Time Blue, I'm going to re-enter my DP, Weiss, back into the game, goes back into the 9 spot because as you should know, as you probably know, starters can re-enter once. So Weiss came out of the game, came back in. Carver never used a sub. Carver went from the flex to batting for the DP, still in the game, back to the flex spot. So you could sub infinitely with Carver, but Weiss, if Weiss comes out one more time, you're going to need somebody else to come off the bench to fill in for the DP spot. So now we want to make sure we tell the umpire, because Sampson is at third now, we want to say, hey, Time, when I put my DP back into the 9 spot, I want my DP going into the field, going to third base. So we're just back to how we started the game, basically, at the home plate meeting when we made this change. Sampson back to the OP, hitting only.